Joining us in studio, a whole host of guests, but at the minute, we've got Senzo Mchunu, the newly minted Police Minister. Minister, it's great to have you. Thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you and the viewers.
Thank you. And what a massive portfolio it is that you have in a context of spiraling crime, spiraling violent crime. How do you feel in terms of the weight that is on your shoulders?
Well, it's a challenge, not just to me, but to the country as a whole, both government and the people of South Africa. But in particular, it's a pointed challenge to us in the Department of Police and, yes, Department of Police. That is to the ministry and the police officers themselves. You look at it from recent history. What is it that we have lost? What has gone wrong? And then you arrive at a point where you have not only spiraling crime, but actually high levels of criminality in the country. And that includes, unfortunately, murders. It includes rape. So our response is that we have to tackle the problem right now before it goes out of control. Because our sense is that, yes, although very high, unacceptable as it is, it's not out of control, provided we do certain things practically and concretely, which we are planning to do. And we are starting this weekend, as of Saturday, with some activities that we have agreed to, that in the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape, it's our hotspot, and this involves deaths and of course murders, and this is quite a worry to us. But we will extend other activities to other provinces, and right now it doesn't mean that there are no actions and no activities of police in other provinces. There are. But the center piece for everything, from where we sit, is that let us define a police station. What is a police station? What is a functional police station? I haven't found a definite, concrete definition. What are the characteristics? What characterizes a functional police station in relation to internal administrative issues, attending to people, equipment to do work, that is tools of trade, and then relations with external people within the police station area of operation, though ordinary citizens and organized citizens against crime. I haven't come across the sense, but mine is not to lament, is to say, I want this, and this is what we're working on it. Because I can go to studios as many times as possible, but that's not the terrain of crime. The terrain of crime is where people live. We agreed with the portfolio in the National Assembly and in the Select Committee that people want safety, personal safety, safety of families, and safety for the community as a whole. Now, we are together in Parliament. There could be differences here and there in terms of how we get there, but we are together. That's a priority number one of ensuring that people are safe. But then that side of the fence, it is criminals. And we know criminals, every criminal in this country knows that I am a criminal. I am about to engage on a criminal activity. And I want to give them a message that at that point, you are challenging the state. At that point, you are inviting law enforcement to confront you, to be with you, and that is what is going to happen.
You know, Minister, you were talking about the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape, where you'll have targeted programs to deal with rising crime. We're in Cape Town, we're in the Western Cape, and it's a province where we've been talking in circles about the issue of gangsterism.
Yeah.
isn't it? It seems to be one of those issues that we just cannot get to grips with. Gender-based violence comes to mind as well, but I want to stick to the issue of gangsterism, particularly in the Western Cape, and we know that it's a concern in other provinces as well.
Yeah.
But since we're here in the province, when you talk about having practical steps to turn things around, rather than talking in circles about the same issues, I imagine that the President will ask of his cabinet that they come up with new solutions, new ways of tackling the same issues we've been talking about for decades.
Now, I won't talk about everything that we've discussed and agreed on, but from where we sit up to now, in terms of analysis and in terms of our approach, it says deal with the whole value chain. First, analyze what is the root cause of what you are seeing out there. Formation of gangs, the way they go about doing what they are doing there. And what is the source? What is the whole thing about? And they tell you exactly what it is all about. And in the Western Cape, I haven't found anyone saying something else except to say it's drugs at the center of this. Now, and then there may be other related things, but then you have to look at the value chain. Where do these things come from? That is what that's what we are rolling our plans on to say. Okay, so these are the sources. These are the ways in which drugs get in here, and therefore it gives you a sense of what you need to do. But on Saturday we will be interacting with communities just here, just for them. Not to start afresh, because I've been in cabinet all the time. I'm a South African. I have been following what's happening and what my former colleague was saying and was doing and so on. So do that, be thorough in terms of what are the sources and what are the sources of the sources, and how do you deal with such a situation. They've been telling me about dealing with you as a kingpin of this, and no sooner, and then another one comes, and all of those things. We're not going to be playing games with people who are ruining the lives of our people. I woke up in the morning with a very harrowing voice note from one of the women here, telling you something that makes you stop on your tracks and listen again and so on. But I'm not putting my hands around my head and saying, I'm old enough. I'm a South African, I'm a patriot. All that we're going to be doing is to act on what is happening. But what are we chasing is safety for people. What are we chasing is peace. What are we chasing is where there's calm, so that people can be safe and their children can play without the danger of bullets and get woken up in the dead of the night by people fighting around drugs and criminality.
And I'm glad you bring up the issue of children being caught in the crossfire, because
yes.
One of the other issues around gangsterism outside of drugs, and that certainly is one of the major things that perhaps complicates tackling
yes.
the issue of gangsterism. But the other issue is guns and access to guns. When we say we're trying to unravel the web of how this is happening, it's now known that the police have been part of that web. Members of the SAPS are serving jail time for providing stolen guns from SAPS stores to gangs.
It's one element that is a bit unfortunate. But it presents itself as one additional challenge to us, especially as ministry and the top leadership of SAPS. And a side challenge in the sense that once you become a member of South African Police, you represent the country, you represent the first and the last line of defense for the people of South Africa. Now, if you break that line yourself, you are breaking your oath. You are saying we were wrong trusting you, and you becoming a police officer in the first place. You need to be dealt with. One of the ways that we are going to be doing is to get more cooperation work very hard on getting communities involved here. I was quite pleased the day before yesterday when a group of people from Johannesburg took trouble, got on a plane just to talk to us. We said, no, we will meet you in Johannesburg when we get back there. They said, no, don't worry. We have money, we can travel, but we want you to listen to us and to say you are ready to listen to us who are getting where you are. And it turned out
People are desperate, aren't they?
It turned out to be a very fruitful meeting with clear indicators that people on their own down on the ground are fed up. And people on their own are not only saying we're fed up, they are saying we're fed up with criminality. And we don't want to be pointing fingers to you as a Minister of Police and want to do something. And here is what we want to do. Are you buying it? Are you able to agree to work with us? And I said, if you asked me when you entered, I would have said, first and foremost, let me tell you that I'm prepared to work with you even before I got to know. And when I got to know what is it, I'm more than willing to work. And it's something that we need to replicate. I'm calling on people of South Africa to not only to say enough is enough, but to get up, do something. This is your own country. It doesn't belong to police. It doesn't belong to government. It belongs to all of us. All we are going to do is to channel the energies, is to come forward and say, let's meet halfway. Let us fight these people. One of the people I've spoken to was counting, saying to me, you know, Minister, in and around Johannesburg, probably you have so many criminals in number, the ones that are active on the ground. Quite a significant number, but in comparison with the citizens of South Africa there, including police and so on, insignificant. So in other words, South Africa is being terrorized by quite a less number of people who are brazen, who are just taking chances. And I must repeat this, they are taking chances. And at some point we need to stop them.
And of course the issue of criminality doesn't just stop with the ordinary criminals on the ground, right? We also need to root out criminality in government. That's been another challenge, hasn't it?
That's very important. I've held a few interviews with phone-ins and people saying, I can cross my fingers. I know a policeman or policemen who are in a particular police station, this and that police station, and those live on bribes. They bribe. So you tell them about this and that criminality in the community, you report to them, and they are the first ones to report back. And they are known. And I must send that message, that those amongst the police, South African police force, who are in this game, you don't represent us, and you need to be dealt with accordingly. I'm not sending a threat. I am indicating practical steps that we are going to take against such people. That's why involvement of the people of South Africa is crucial, because they have information, because they know. That's the key issue. They know.
And I mean, Minister, you know, when you ask for communities to be involved, is there a level of protection that can be offered to, for example, you know, leaders of CPFs that operate in different communities? So many of them have lost their lives as the result of trying to fight crime in their areas. Even
before I say this, let me say that either way, even if they are quiet and silent, they are victims of criminals. So it's not like not divulging information
will keep you safe.
It will be so. They have been quiet.
Right.
Afraid that if I do this, there is a consequence from those people against whom they have been victims for that. So they may as well come forward. But it is important still to say we're going to look for safer ways of getting information from them and ensuring that we act decisively on this matter. I'm one of the people that they can phone and they can trust on me, that information entrusted with me and the Deputy Ministers won't go back except in action. And we've already started. And I've been happy when I receive a message that says, because I trust you, 1, 2, 3. please indicate how we can act on this. And we need more and more of those people.